Are you ready to reclaim joy in your life? Why joy? Why now? Welcome to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei, your joy guru. While the world looks like it's at a breaking point, burnout, stress, isolation, and overwhelm dominate the headlines. Within all this, there's a longing for something deeper, something that heals beyond the mind. Joy fuels health, sparks expansive thought, aligns us spiritually, and connects us to one another. Join me as I weave astrology, intuition, and modern psychology to ignite your soul's highest alignment. Each week I sit down with luminous guests who embody joy as a spiritual path, a creative force, and a way of life. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the joy. Because when joy rules, transformation becomes inevitable. Hello, my playmates for the soul. I know I say this every show. I'm so excited. I feel like a kid in a candy store. And for years I was in the personnel business. That's where I used astrology, was as a tool to understand the people I was recruiting for and the people I was interviewing. And so that really helped me understand why they were happy in certain jobs and why others were not. But I used to say the line, which wasn't true for me then. When you do what you love, work feels like play. That made total sense to me. But you know what? I wasn't doing it until recently, until the last couple of years. So I just wanted to say that. And the moon is in Leo today. I'm going to do my 2-3 minute cosmic weather report. The moon is in Leo right now. Leo is rising. So my intention for you is, after you've had an opportunity to meet my luminous guest, Ursula, your joy quotient will go through the roof. Because joy, everything in the universe falls under one of the 12 signs. And joy falls under the umbrella of Leo. That doesn't mean every Leo is joyful, but that would be other things in their chart. But the Leo energy is pure joy. It's the child. It's the innocence. It's the love me because I got up today. I just want to love you. It's that innocence of Leo that people are really very drawn to. So that's my first point in terms of the cosmic weather. The moon is in Leo the rest of today, all of Saturday, until about 3:30 p.m. on Sunday Eastern time. So whatever you're doing this weekend, I mean, the universe is always supporting you and tapping into more joy. But for this weekend, even more so, you could find yourself just enthralled with someone you meet in the grocery store, because they're reflecting that joyful part of you back to you. So, again, Leo really is about celebrating life. That's why it's all the arts and movies and theaters and concerts and all that. But the big umbrella with Leo energy is to celebrate life. So celebrate life this weekend. I mean, all the time, but the universe is supporting that even more. Second thing, all the planets are direct. All the planets that we work with are moving forward until May 6th. That would suggest that if you have something to get off the ground, if you're, want to make something happen, and you're wanting to feel into the timing, you're probably feeling it now. It wasn't time a couple weeks ago. We were still in the release and more forgiveness for self and others. But now we're in Aries season. It is the time to move forward. And on April 17th is the new moon in Aries, which really actually starts the new year totally. Like March 20th was the spring equinox, sun in Aries, the conscious energy in Aries. But until the moon's new in Aries, we really don't start the year. So April 17th really is the start of the new year, and I'm launching a YouTube channel on April 18th. I'm harnessing this cosmic weather, and I'm so excited about that. So last thing, on April 1st is the Libra full moon. Every full moon is about the balance between self and others. But Aries is about self, and Libra's about others. So wherever you are on your relationship journey with any of the folks in your life, not just romantic relationships, but any significant relationships, there's an opportunity for more balance, more harmony, more peace, or to restore that if it has not been for a while. So with that said, my luminous guest in the nest today, Ursula Lentini. Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for being willing to do this with me.
Thank you, of course. Playing with you. Let's see. Should I do that? Should I clear my calendar? Shall I make it happen? Fat, yes.
Well, I love you so much, and I love the fact that I do these connection calls because I got to hear us when we connected, and when I asked you about, how you would define joy for yourself or what is your relationship to joy, you said a couple of things. You said joy is being happy for no reason. So, would you speak to that in whatever context comes to you?
Yes. So I primarily work in the subconscious space. So when I see clients, we're in the subconscious. I'm a metaphysician and I see things metaphysically. So, my eyes, I can see a tree, but no, it's a metaphysical interpretation. So when I look at joy from that perspective, like the deeper understanding, it's our natural state. These scientists come out and they're finding out all the spiritual stuff that we've been talking about for centuries. And they're like, oh, kids are geniuses. But when I try to interview the adults, like, but all the kids are geniuses. I say, yeah, they came straight from heaven, of course, because we've been programmed away from our natural states because
Yeah.
we can't be controlled. Like if
Yes.
you have a joyful child and they're joyful about something and you're like, no, sit down and do your homework, that's not going to happen. They need to be in joy because that's where our gifts are expressed. So
Yes.
joy is a very, very precious commodity that is natural but has been buried over time.
Yeah. And I guess I'm still stunned and so incredibly grateful that that's my job now. I mean, it's fascinating to me. If someone would have told me that 2 years ago, I would have said, what? So with all these planets coming up in Aries, everybody gets to be that innocent, you know, trusting one's impulses and being brave enough to be who we are. That's what Aries is about.
Yeah.
And again, you're an Aries sun, but happy birthday coming up in 3 days.
Thank you.
You and your honey.
Yes,
Very
we happen to have
interesting.
the same birthday because I was like, is this real? And then it was like, oh, you have the same birthday. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the confirmation.
Wow. I mean, it's so interesting because I think I shared with you the Kabbalah says just two people of the same sun sign are racing up the tree of life, but two people with the same birthday, have the same degree of the sun, which is so interesting because you would have such opportunities for mirrors, all kinds of mirrors.
And the good news is in the maturity, and he's very mature, not on his spiritual path per se, but just life circumstances. We are both very like mature in our humanity. We both love ourselves.
Yes.
So there's no like, we don't do that. We don't play games. We're very direct, we're very honest, we're very open, we're very gentle and kind because of the maturity that we've both come across in our lives. And
Yes.
then that's something we can share and mirror. So we have like peace, like all our needs are met when we're together. We don't have to like go and overstimulate and cause commotion just for connection, old habits that people have. We
Yeah.
don't have any of that. So we just get together and all our needs are met. We're very peaceful and happy and there's like joy and we just relax together. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing because you said, can't believe here in your life you're experiencing joy. I betcha you were very joyful as a child when you felt safe.
Oh my God. And in fact, I think I always felt I was too much. Like I had to temper just that unabashed joy for no reason. Like I might not see someone for 5 years and their chart pops into my head and I'm just so excited to share something with them, even if they don't understand it, because it's just coming from the joy. It's not coming
Yeah.
from I'm trying to impress you or have you as a client. And I'm allowing that now. The Rumi quote, which is so beautiful about your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find within yourself all the barriers you've built against it. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
we are that pure essence and we've all buried it somehow, protected ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, and in my connection with you, you so mirrored to me. And then I looked at our relationship, you and I, because, every relationship has a chart. Well,
Hmm.
our sun sign is Capricorn, you and I. Our moon is Pisces, which is all the spiritual stuff. We have Venus, in other words, what this relationship is about in terms of what it values and appreciates. It's in Leo. Our Venus is in Leo. So you and I are, it's not about supposed to be joyful, but in other words, we're wired together to be able to value and appreciate the essence of joy, the concept of joy. And so I'm finding as each guest has their own take on this. And and I'm so excited to showcase that, because the other thing that you said that blew me away was when I asked you about joy, you said living in the mystery and getting gifts on the regular. So would you
Yeah.
speak? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
living in the mystery and getting gifts on the regular.
Right. So let me back up a little bit. When you say our relationship, so are you like your chart and my chart, and then you make a third chart?
Yes, the computer meshes the midpoint of two charts so people
Okay.
can then know what's the relationship about. We're mother and
Okay.
daughter, we're father and son, but maybe the relationship is an Aries relationship. Well, that means it's going to have all the qualities of Aries. They've come together to encourage each other to be independent, to take risks, to be self-reliant, to be true to themselves. There could also be with Aries energy that's not mature, there could be that fighting. There could be,
Right.
well, I'm right. No, you're right. No, that. But again, what you
Okay.
said about the maturity, that's the piece.
I appreciate that because when I do couple counseling or when I give weddings, I talk about the basket in between the two people because
Mm,
sometimes people blend and they become the one strong person and then the other person's yes dear and they're both miserable. But and I talk about there's a thing in the middle. So you guys stay individual and keep contributing to that thing in the middle because you give it and then you take it. It's like a breadbasket or something. You put stuff in and then you take it and you share it. So it's a responsibility to contribute. So that's the first time I understood that you can make a
it's
chart
called a
that,
composite. It's called a composite chart.
okay,
But I
okay.
love the basket. What a beautiful way to see the relationship as a basket. In other words, it holds all these gifts, whatever they are, and we're a choice. I mean, the whole personal responsibility thing is where I think people really fall off, right? Where they
Yes.
really still want to blame someone. I feel this way because you did that. And look at how we language things. You made me feel. That made me feel. No, nothing makes us feel anything. There's a choice in there, right?
Yeah, and a habit and something that automatically just kind of happens because we fall in love and we give our power away. Or we blame the other person, which is also giving our power away. But if I can be empowered and you can be empowered now, that's what I'm talking about when we say back to the comment of living in the mystery and getting gifts. Because not living in the mystery is living under the illusion of control,
Yes.
right? So we've been, do this and you will have this, and do this and you'll have security, and do it like this, and you will win the game. Okay, guess what? It's not working. So the whole illusion of control is very disheartening when people get all the things, the big car and the thing and the job and the
Yeah. Why do I still feel empty?
exactly.
Yeah.
So if we say, oh, well, if the emptiness goes with the thing of control, let's collapse that and push it away. What can fulfill this emptiness?
Yes.
In its connection, its honesty, its truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
We've known each other for decades. We're okay with good, bad, and ugly.
Absolutely.
I would rather pull back the curtain and say, "Oh, there's that ugly thing," than
Abs-
pretend like, "La la la, what? Turn the radio up higher. I can't. The ugly thing's talking too loud, right? Like, let's run for addiction and overworking and stressing out and being mad. No, let's look at the ugly thing. Come here, let's have some tea, you little monster. Or what's going on with you?
yeah.
That's it. Because then the emptiness is like, okay, I feel connected. I feel like I understand who I am and where I come from. And
Hmm.
oh, no wonder, I'm like this. And oh, I carry a heavy heart. So just if we know ourselves and we're not trying to avoid everything, then there's a completion within the container,
Yes.
Right. I know I can depend on myself. I know I've got my own back. I know I'm going to speak out if somebody's trying to violate me energetically, emotionally, socially, whatever. So
Hmm.
I've got my structures in place and I am self-contained. Now, if I can't control anything out there, which I learned over time, now I'm this unit walking through life, walking through the day, opening up and saying, what's here? Yes, I have a schedule, but I don't know how it's all going to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now everything's a mystery. So, like a child, remember summertime? It lasted a century
Yeah. Right.
because every day was new.
Yeah.
So, if everything's new and every day's new, and I can wake up a better version of myself than I was yesterday,
Yeah.
now it's mystery. And guess what? When I'm in alignment, which is mystery, I said, you lead earlier before we started the show. And you're like, I said, you lead, I'll follow. And you're like, you're an Aries. And I
That's
said,
mature Aries. That's
right,
mature Aries.
right. So if I say to the universe, to God, to whatever that is that's bigger than me, the
Hmm.
silence within that is beating my heart and breathing my lungs, thank God I'm not in charge. Whatever that is bigger than me, if I say, okay, you lead,
Yeah.
and I just follow, you think I'm not going to get surprises along the day?
Yeah.
You think my
Well,
heart's not going to get activated? You think I'm not going to notice the flowers because I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, we're going to feel insecure because we're not in charge. But so what? If insecure is a natural part of our stuff that makes us fulfilled, like I
hmm.
don't have to know all the answers.
It's so interesting you're saying this, and I didn't share this with you on our connection call because I looked at your chart again today. Well, Jupiter in the chart, the planet Jupiter, we all have the planet Jupiter in our chart, and that I call it the contract with God in the universe. It's the planet of growth and wisdom and optimism and what gives life meaning. Well, you have Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, which again would go right along with internal family systems, right? It's family. So that's that gentle, sensitive, caring part of you. That's not the Aries, that's not the Sag. Their job is not to be that. The Aries job is to be courageous and brave and true to itself. Sag's job is the eternal optimist. I always marvel at when I connect with you. I so experience that it's going to be okay part of you, that pony in there somewhere, the sag, which is very sag. I mean, no matter how the Sagittarius are wired, other stuff, but the sag energy is that enthusiasm and optimism. So you combine that with your Aries, brave and courageous, but the meaning and purpose of your life is safety, security. I mean, the internal family systems again make so much sense. And what I wanted to share with you, Ursula, which I didn't share with you the other day because it didn't occur to me, Jupiter is in Cancer now. It has been since last June, which means, and it only spends a year in each sign every 12 years. So you are in, as we speak, this year, and then a new 12-year cycle of what your contract with God and the universe is, or
Oh,
an
perfect.
expanded contract. Like when you were saying, you were seeing different practitioners, so you could, I think you said, access my past life gifts, right? Or my,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
say that, yeah, speak to that for.
Right. So on the spiritual path, right, you heal, 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 heal. And then you get this lifetime and you're like, okay, I got it. I'm good. Okay, I carry this issue. Okay, I have that tendency. Okay, I need to nurture myself in that manner. And then we also do a lot of clearing of ancestral within our history
Mhm.
because I believe like all this history, and then we come, it's all back there, like as if there was a crowd right behind, like in the V shape. And then I'm the spokesperson. I am the representation of all of the stuff in my lineage, and they can measure it in my DNA and say, okay, epigenetics shows you carry this and you do this and this has happened and this is why you're afraid of this and so on. So we could dig around. And as I'm doing my healing, I'm healing the lineage as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So
And
then,
that's Jupiter in Cancer. That's the wisdom of Jupiter in Cancer, which means that everybody is having, not that we can't always do it, but everyone is having that opportunity from last June of 25 until the end of this June for exactly what you just said. the healing of the ancestral lineage back and forth, the mother, the daughter, the grandmother, the great, whatever it is. And that's exciting.
It's super exciting, super exciting. But then you're like, okay, what are you doing now lately? And I have two practitioners always that I'm always working on. Because if I do my work, if I do deep work with other people, I need to be accountable and make sure that I'm doing my work so my work doesn't end up in their session, because I
Absolutely.
want their session to be clean and take care of my stuff. So I always have that going on. But now I'm curious, almost like if that's that way, the other piece is this way for my soul.
Yes.
So going into the multi dimensions, right? Here is a physical 3D. I kind of operate from 5D on a regular. And now I'm like, oh, what does my soul carry? Because I'm sure I've been other people and done other things along this line, but wouldn't it be nice to bring in other traits and talents that I have cultivated through lifetimes and things like that? So that's the latest journey I'm on.
And that's what inspired the title for this show, because you said it's like waking up the sleeping beauty within because we've got a game to play. So speak to speak to that.
Okay, so that brings me to the age of Aquarius, which I'm sure you know better than I, where it's a over 2,000 year shift. So just like the planets line and they line. So I can say, oh, here's this month, or here's today, here's this thing, here's the year, here's my chart, here's what's that, the 7 year thing, Saturn
That's the Saturn
return.
cycles. Yeah,
Here's the
Saturn.
Saturn return, right? So it just keeps going out and going out. So there's another big, big cycle of 2,000 years, and we're moving out of the Piscean age into the age of Aquarius. I don't understand like you understand, but the two taglines that help me understand is power over was the way that we were doing things, which you could say the patriarch system.
Mm-hmm.
And now this new one is divine feminine rising.
Yes.
So Don Barden wrote a book called Here Come the Girls. It's kind of a funny little name for us to remember, but basically he did a study, and the good news is by 2028 we will have global female leadership at 57% global. So that means third world countries, countries that have been suffering, communists, all the things. There will be female leadership. And what that changes is so many things. My favorite part of that is we won't have bloodshed the way we've used to. There's no ever time where there's going to be a council of women and they say, I think we should solve this problem by killing other people's children. Like, we're never going to say that. So there will be more safety. There will be more accountability. And the good news also is because it's going to be women in our generation, because we have the history.
Yes.
We were not raised with cell phones in front of us. So we know what it was like even before TV, some of us. So the elders and everybody needs to come forward and hold space for the younger generations to go, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. Because like children, they're geniuses, and they have BS detectors like nobody else.
Yes.
So we can say to the children, what do you need? And they will tell us, and then we can start arranging the world for better balance and better compassion for all kinds of people.
It's interesting that you say that, because I have I have an 18-year-old granddaughter and I have a 4-year-old grandson, and he is an Aquarian with Cancer rising, which is shy initially, and I'm Cancer rising. I mean, and so when I see him, I never do the grandma thing, like, oh, Alex. So I just kind of let him get, or, like I'm honoring that. And he's got a Gemini moon, so he's double air. But my point is, once he gets comfortable and feels safe, and so having that knowledge astrologically, like my kid Michael and Adina don't know, they know it from me, but when they see that sort of shy side of him initially, honoring it versus, oh, go say goodbye, say hello, how parents would do,
Right.
tell them thank you, or whatever. It's like, yeah. So what you're speaking to very much sounds like this new contract And I
Yes.
wish I'd said it to you the other day. Obviously, I'm supposed to say it now because I didn't think of it the other day. But these things that you're saying, and what just came to me when you were talking that I think you really teach by example and by the work that you do is emotional sovereignty,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Like not control over the emotions, but the honoring of emotions.
Yes.
And that's up. My point is, that is up for everyone, even people that aren't born with Jupiter in Cancer. You happen to be born with the energy that's going on now, which means the message that you have to deliver is of even greater importance because that's what people need to hear.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like all the work I've done is leading up to this point.
Yeah. Yes. And again, tell me to say it really slowly. You have a doctor of conscious,
Consciousness studies, which
which is the
is the
intersection.
intersection. Good, you got it. You got it. Between metaphysics, quantum physics, and spirituality.
So translate that to
Metaphysics is we perceive the world. Okay, let me put it this way. An angry person lives in an angry world. A peaceful person lives in a peaceful world,
mhm,
yet they're next door neighbors. That's metaphysics. The way we perceive the world, the glasses that we're looking through, are the way we experience life. So in metaphysics, we say you don't like your life, change your perspective.
right.
But I say that's not, it's easier said than done because our perspective comes from our history books. It's written in our code. So we have some work to do, some untangling to liberate ourselves to be the person that we were meant to be, like the Rumi, get rid of all of those barriers.
Yes.
Quantum physics is tipping the laws of the 3D realm that we've been taught. That you have to work hard, that A goes to B to C to D to D, that you have to follow structure, that imagination is not valued. All of that is collapsing. Quantum takes all of the physical laws and flips them upside down.
Mm.
It says, well, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. So now it liberates us to use our imagination to go into a place that doesn't necessarily, quote unquote, make sense the way we've been taught. But when you start looking at things in the quantum and you see things from the quantum, it makes sense in that realm.
Yes. Well, we're going to have to do this again because we've just scratched the surface. And now that I know we have Venus in Leo, it makes sense that our relationship would be valuing joy and appreciating joy. So I love and value and appreciate you, my sweet sister, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you. This was always so much fun. I love you to death. You're just so sweet and joyful. Childlike, not childish. You call it like it is. You're just honest and your heart is huge.
Thank
And
you.
I love you and I feel loved by you. So thank you, Lorelei.
Thank you, Ursula. I love you too. Thank you for listening to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei Robbins, your joy guru. If this episode sparked something in you, don't keep joy to yourself. Share and spread the light. Tune in the second and fourth Friday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Transformation Talk, where together we reclaim joy as the foundation for transformation. To dive deeper, visit me at joyrules.com. And remember, joy isn't optional, it's essential. And visit joyrules.com for lots more joy. Until next time, keep choosing joy and join the joy revolution. And until we connect, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars.